Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's show. Couple things. First off, let's get into the show first because I have some things to talk about. Remember follow me on Instagram at the Jesus Show NTO. You can follow me on Facebook. Type in the Jesus Show, not that one. You can find me on TikTok at the Jesus Show, not that one. YouTube, type in the Jesus Show, not that one, or the Jesus Show NTO, and email me your questions, comments, and concerns. The Jesus Show NTO at gmail.com. All right. It's taken me, today's Friday? I think it's Friday. No, Thursday. I think it's Thursday. I don't know what day it is today, to be honest with you. It's the 31st. I'm a couple days late on this week's episode. Two things. The first thing is, for some reason, if you guys listened to the last episode, I had Alex, our friend Alex, on the show. We talked for like an hour and a half. It was a really good conversation. Definitely going to have her on again. The audio portion was fine. It was perfect. We recorded everything. We got everything. And then when I went to transfer the video, because what I do is I use a camera. I use a Canon camera, point and shoot, that I've been using ever since, I think, episode maybe 6 or 7? I can't remember. And it hasn't worked great, but it hasn't been terrible. Sometimes when I try to extract the video to put it on iMovie, because that's how I edit the videos. Sometimes it won't load. Like, let's say I have 2 cuts. Usually it's 2 cuts is the most. No, I've done 3. I've done 3 cuts. But the camera only records 30 minutes at a time. So 30 minutes at a time, anywhere from 25 minutes to 30 minutes, I'll stop down, and then I hit record again, then I pick up from there. So if you've noticed my videos, you'll see a cut. You'll see it's not rough, but it's not super smooth. So it's not like I'm talking to you right now and then I cut it, and then this would be a different clip or a cut putting it together. It's not that smooth. But maybe I'm here and then I show up here and then I start talking again. Sometimes when I import that into iMovie, it doesn't download properly. So let's say, for the most part, I have 2 cuts. The first portion of the video, the first, let's say 30-minute portion of the video, downloads fine. And then the second part, maybe halfway through, it doesn't. So then I have to redo the project, delete everything, redo the project, and re-download it. Sometimes that fixes it. Other times that doesn't fix it. Other times I have to do it multiple times. 2, 3, I think the most I've ever done is 4. There's been times where I've put out the video because on my end it looks fine. I go through, I do a little quality control check, if you will. And I do, I play the video and then I go maybe a minute at a time. I just to make sure, okay, there's audio, there's video, got it. And then there's been times where I've put it out and one of you guys, thankfully, have reached out to me and go, hey, at minute whatever, it's blank for maybe 10 minutes. I'm like, huh? So then I go on YouTube, I check it. Sure enough, then I have to take it down. I have to redo the project. So it's been a headache. Well, Allie just suggested, she goes, why don't you just try doing it on your iPhone? I go, yeah, I guess. I never really know. I don't really know why I didn't do it before. But this episode is the first one that I'm trying on my iPhone. And we're going to try it out. And if it's better, then, and when I mean better, I think I mean more like if I don't have any problems in the editing portion. When I transfer it over, and if it, if it doesn't do the same thing it was doing with the camera, then I'm just going to probably get rid of that stupid fucking camera. I hate it anyways. Yeah. The other thing. So I'm sure you guys know there was a mass shooting. Another one. Surprise. At a school in Tennessee. I think it was just outside Nashville. I really don't know. I try to learn very little about these school shootings. Even before we had a son. Because then before I would definitely get super wrapped up in it. I'd be watching the news coverage, I'd be reading every story, I would be just very involved, and then I got super sad. And like I'm doing now, I'm getting super sad now. Not that I don't get sad, not that I don't think about it, not that I don't know what's going on. I do. I just try not to get super involved. But it still pisses me off. And this is going to be mostly what I talk about this episode. It's going to be a shorter episode. It's going to be a Jesusito, so you don't have to listen to me for too long. But when people say, "Oh, well, we go to a comedy show, we go to a movie, we go to this performance, we try to escape the real world and try to enjoy ourselves for a little bit." Okay. That's fair. But at the same time, because this is my show, because I run the show, because I say what goes, I'm my own boss on the show, I would feel weird just talking to you guys about, hey, this week's episode is about buttholes and farts again. And another reason why I took a couple days is because I was really thinking about it. Like, okay, do I want to talk about this again? Do I want to go through this again? Do I want to have all the emotions again and rant and rave? And still, yeah, I do. I feel like it's a good outlet for me. And hopefully, as I'm talking to you guys, maybe I can change one person's mind. I don't know. But and the luxury that I have is to go, oh man, do I really want to talk about it? Oh man, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. There's people currently here in this country, supposed to be the greatest country on the planet, in the USA, there's people right now that have lost a family member, a friend, somebody they didn't know too well, but they were nice, because of some gun violence bullshit. It happens way too much. Way too much. It's insane. And if you follow my personal Instagram account, I've posted a lot of things about banning assault rifles, just different things. And this is what I don't understand. What I don't understand is some of the conversation, some of the things people think. Let me give you an example. This is how I feel this conversation should go with anybody, right? So I'm a liberal person, right? Let's say I'm talking to a conservative person, very conservative person, right? Conversation. I'm gonna play me, and then when I do the other, it's supposed to be the other person with a different view of opinion, right? This is how the conversation I feel should go, right? I go, oh, man, all these school shootings, like all these kids being murdered at school. Something needs to change, right? Then the other person, the very conservative person, should go, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of kids that have been murdered at school. And then maybe I say something to the effect of, yeah, like I don't remember ever living in fear that someone was going to come shoot up my school. Except for after Columbine. I don't necessarily remember what age or what grade I was in when Columbine happened, but I do remember being in high school and I remember watching it on TV and we were just blown away like, whoa, what is going on? And the other person would say, yeah, yeah, I remember Columbine. And then it's just progressively got worse. Then I would say, yeah, crazy, right? Fuck, like, maybe we should really like do something about it, right? Maybe our elected officials should do something. Then the other person, yeah. That's it, right? That's the end of that conversation. Then let's say an elected official, right, were to go, hey, I'm running to represent you. And then we all know that gun violence here in America is a huge problem. And let's say somebody from the crowd or a reporter asks them, hey, what do you think about gun violence? Then they were to go, well, the Second Amendment, America, and we're not going to do anything about it, right? So let's say that's a conservative person, right? A conservative, a Republican nominee. So this conversation should go like, I'm me. I'm me. There's a conservative person I'm talking to. Talking after seeing that on the TV or a news clip or whatever. Hey, did you see Representative Lewis? They said that they weren't going to do anything. Remember that conversation we had that something should be done? Then the other person, yeah, like they don't want to do anything. Yeah, like that's crazy. Man, I hope he doesn't get elected because if he's not going to do anything, we're just going to keep running into the same problem, right? And the other person goes, yeah, that's crazy. I agree with him on everything except for being okay with children being murdered, right? Yeah, like, but what do you, well, I guess I'm just not voting for him. There's another conservative person, another Republican, who said that they're going to do something about gun violence. And crazy, I agree with all the other stuff, but that gun violence thing, like they're like, oh, maybe we should do something. Like, that sounds like he's going to do something. Maybe I should vote for him. And then I would go, oh, yeah, maybe you should vote for that person. Fuck the other guy. Yeah, fuck the other guy. Right? But that's not how conversations go. I've had a lot of conservative, a lot of Republican people at work, in my personal life, online. They've told me things like, it's crazy that our country is the way it is and we don't care about each other anymore. And they say it about all different kinds of things. If I, post something, somebody, oh yeah, but the left, and I'm okay. And one thing that I always ask them, I go, okay. Well, one thing that I normally tell them is, so you think this country, we don't care about each other enough, right? Yeah, back in my day, we used to. Okay, well, I don't know what the good old days. I don't know what that means. But we have a chance now to care about each other. We have an opportunity to come together as a nation, as a Democrat, as a Republican, as a independent, as a anybody that inhabits the US that can vote, that is here. You'd think we would all come together and go, we need to really take care of this problem. No, these conservative and Republicans who own guns say, well, I have the right to bear arms. And I tell them, do you see how selfish you're being? That you care about a gun, an inanimate object. You think that that's more important than a life of a child, a life of a human being, a life of a fellow citizen. Something that's been circulating around the internet is the Second Amendment. And it's something everybody Second Amendment people who like guns and own guns, and they're all about the Second Amendment. One thing that they like to quote is, I have the right to bear arms. That's the Second Amendment. Okay, what's the rest of it? What does the whole thing say? Because in there, it says that something to the effect of, oh man, I wish I had it right here. I can't remember. It mentions a well-regulated militia for a free state. Pretty much saying that the state of Indiana can have a well-regulated militia that has the right to bear arms against the government. So if the government, too much overreach and the government's doing some shit, then we can, in Indiana, we can come together and go, hey, look, we got guns, so we can combat the U.S. government. Okay, well, we might have to do that, right? But I feel like a lot of people that are Second Amendment enthusiasts, either they know or they don't know. If they know, that's even worse. But a well-regulated militia. Well-regulated. So a well-regulated militia, the word regulated is in there. But nobody ever makes mention to that. Why is that? They like to say, I have the right to bear arms. But you don't have the right to own whatever fucking gun you want because it makes you feel like a man. It makes you feel warm inside. I've never met a hunter. And I've asked some hunters within the last couple of years, do you hunt with an AR-15? They go, why would you do that? Oh, I don't know. Like, what's the point of having an AR-15? And I've had people tell me, oh, yeah, I have one. It's fun to shoot. You feel that. It's fun to shoot, but I would never hunt with it. I go, well, why wouldn't you hunt with it? Well, because if I shoot anything, it's going to pulverize it. Like, that's not, you don't hunt with it. If I'm trying to shoot a rabbit, I'm not going to use an AR-15. There's not going to be rabbit left. If I shoot a deer with it, it's going to fuck it up. I'm going to blow its head off. I'm going to blow half its body open or whatever it is. Like, you don't use that. You use other guns for that. Oh, okay. I've even asked some people, why do you have an AR-15? Oh, well, for protection. Okay, from who? You have a shotgun. You have a 9mm. You have... I've met 2 people that have a Desert Eagle .50. It's a big fucking handgun. I shot one once. Very fun. Very loud. Very powerful. You have a this, you have a that. Why is it that? It's like, well, if 2 people come into my house, I go, yeah, but isn't that like a regular gun? You can pop, pop. Yeah, but the AR lets me spray a bunch of bullets at a very quick rate. Okay. Then I've asked people, but what happens if you let's say you hit your next door next door neighbor's house and somebody else gets hurt over there. Like, yeah, well, there's liabilities, blah, 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 blah. And I just think to myself, so, but what's the point though? I don't understand having a weapon of war here in America. And I think, from what I've gathered, the NRA and the Republican Party have definitely sold this notion to what I call weak-minded people, men and women, that think we're at war with our fellow citizens. Republicans are at war with the Democrats. Look what they're trying to do. Us Democrats want health care for all. We want everybody to have better paying jobs. We want higher education to be available to everyone. Sounds like a pretty fucking stupid country to live in, right? That everybody has their basic needs met. So nobody has to die, I don't know, of cancer. Nobody has to die of whatever ailment it is because they can't afford to pay the astronomical fucking prices just to stay alive. Fun fact, did you know I'm still in debt? Still in debt over when I went through cancer? A couple thousand. More than a couple thousand, but I'm still in debt. That was, what, 10 years ago? Going on 11, I think, this year? All because I didn't want to die. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy that people need thousands of dollars to stay alive. And if you don't have that money, you're probably going to die. Insane. That sounds like a third world country thing. No, it's America. And Republicans are okay with it. And I get it. You have Republican elected officials who get money from their donors, from this, from that. And their special interest groups will tell them, hey, vote no on this, don't pass this, because if you do, then we're not going to give you any more money. And those fucking cowards do their bidding. And Democrats do the same shit. You know, I told Allie, I said, I don't want to make it seem like I'm only shitting on Republicans. Mostly I'm shitting on them because they're fucking assholes. Also, I don't know how any Christian person, somebody that says they love and follow this, right? This is another reason why I think religion is bullshit. You have these people, I love the Lord. He's my savior. The children are the way. The children are the future. You must send. Children are so precious, right? Okay, but you're not doing a goddamn thing to keep them alive in school. So there's a passage, I believe, if I remember correctly, in the Bible that says, Jesus said, like, let the children come to me. And my thought is, do these Republicans, do these conservative people who want to do everything to protect children except for actually protecting them, when they hear when Jesus said, let the children come to me, does that mean, do they interpret it as, well, if the children get murdered, which we're fine with, then they're going out with Jesus, so it's fine. It's okay, let them get mowed down in school. But as long as we let those Americans keep their AR-15s and whatever other fucking gun they want, I'm okay with it. Why? Because Jesus said, let the children come to me. So yeah, they're murdered. Their parents don't have them. But it's okay. They're in heaven. Fuck you. I mean, fuck you all the way. Fuck you so much that I wish you get ass cancer. and die a slow, painful death. And you might be listening to this and going, Jess, that's extreme. It is extreme, but also I can say that because I had cancer. And because my name is Jesus, I can definitely say that. So it's okay. I cleared it with the big guy. He said, cool, don't worry about it. I got you. I don't know how every church out there is not making statements. We need to do something about this. I don't know how every company, mine included, the one that I work for, I don't know how they're not making, hey, we need to change this shit. I don't know how anybody who says drag shows are the problem, I don't know how they're not coming out and going, guns are the problem, you know? That's how I know that their arguments are bullshit. Because you don't fucking care. You don't fucking care because as long as it's not inconvenient for you, you're fine with it. Ban assault rifles. I didn't say take all guns away. Is that what I said? No, I said ban assault rifles. Let's start there. Let's start there. And when I've told that to people, they go, that's not going to work. Is it? Is it not going to work? Have we tried that? We did, and it was working. And then now they're not, and then now it's not working. That's one thing. The second thing is, well, I'm going to have to stop down real quick because I was about to come in. So I had to stop down real quick. Allie came in with the baby, and the boys started barking. I'm almost done, I promise. What was I saying? Yeah. Things don't work when people say we shouldn't do this or that because it won't work. Guess what? A lot of the shit that has been proposed, we've never fucking done. So you can't tell me something doesn't work if it's never been done. Because guess what? We've been doing it your way. And guess what? Shit's not fucking working. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, thoughts and prayers. That shit ain't fucking working. And let me propose this. If someone says, well, we just have to pray harder. Okay, motherfucker, well, clearly you're not praying hard enough because this shit keeps fucking happening. So maybe you should look inside of you and figure out why your prayer isn't working or your prayers aren't working because that's the only fucking thing you're doing. And when I mean them, I mean the elected officials who say, well, we can only pray. No, motherfuckers, you can do shit. You're in a position to do shit. And if you don't want to do shit, get the fuck out. That's why I believe that if you have, I've believed for a while now that elected officials should not be religious at all. Or at least they shouldn't publicly tell everybody what religion they are. Because your religion shouldn't impact your decisions on my life because I don't believe in your fucking God. If believing in your God means little kids are going to continue to be murdered, fuck you and your God. You can go suck your God's dick. I don't give a shit what you do. Fuck you and your God. Because if your God's okay with it, your God is a piece of fucking shit. And that God maybe shouldn't be a God. Because growing up, I was told God is an awesome God. God is loving. God is this. God is so wonderful. I haven't been seeing that shit ever since I got fucking older. I haven't seen any of that shit. So who's this God people believe in? I would hope that if I believed in a God, that my God would go, nah, I mean, come on, guys. We can't let this keep happening. Like, you guys want to do something about it? Why don't we do something about this? A couple people recently told me a couple days ago, banning assault rifles is not going to work. It will. Criminals are going to be criminals. Okay. Well, then why do you obey any fucking law now? Well, because I'm not a criminal. Okay. But we have rules and regulations in place, right? So if nothing worked, why are any of us following anything? Why isn't this world just tossed into chaos? Because we've agreed to live in a society that we have to follow certain rules. And I will agree with you, there's some stupid fucking laws. Like an abortion ban. That's a stupid fucking law. That men who are not doctors make laws for women and say, we know better than you. No, you don't. Then you go, well, I read this Bible thing from long time ago, and my daddy believed in it, and I believe in it too. So women shouldn't be able to do that. Also, go fuck yourself. But to get back to my point I was about to make, had a couple people tell me, why aren't we looking into better school security? And I said, because schools shouldn't be guarded like a fucking military base. That's why. And for you to think that's going to be the solution, you're part of the problem. You shouldn't have to go into a school and go through a metal detector. You shouldn't have to go anywhere. But unfortunately, there are places where we have to go through metal detectors, where we have to get screened, where we have to get this and that. A school shouldn't be one of them. A church shouldn't be one of them. A grocery store shouldn't be one of them. A movie theater shouldn't be one of them. An amusement park shouldn't be one of them. A sporting event shouldn't be one of them. But unfortunately, some of those places that I mentioned, you do have to go through a metal detector. You do have to have some sort of security screening. It's crazy. And to think that some of these, man, I was holding Athanasios last night. Well, not just last night, but the day that the shooting happened. And I say controlled crying because I was holding him. He was asleep and I didn't want to wake him up. But I thought, fuck, man. The parents of those 3 kids don't get to do this to their kid anymore, ever. That's heartbreaking. And for us as a nation not to be able to get behind that is insane to me. There's politicians out there that have kids. And they're not even going, fuck, man, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. And I think the reason why they don't do anything is because they get money from the NRA. We know that. They don't want to piss off their base because their base is batshit crazy. Second Amendment. But at what point do we do something? Do they do something about it? We have speed limits. I'm a good driver, but not everybody's a good driver. We have different laws. I don't know why I have to obey it. I'm not like that. But we have a lot of dumb fucks out there. Make it harder to get a gun. You don't need a gun in a day. If you're having some mental issues, some mental problems that you're seeking help, or you might need help for it, let's not give that person a gun. You want to have a gun? I've said this before. You want to own a gun? You want to have a gun? Go through 6 weeks of training. like X amount of hours on a Saturday. Oh, but that sounds too hard. Then you shouldn't have a gun. If more training, more time, if all that is inconveniencing you, then you shouldn't have one. That means you don't want it enough. If you really wanted your guns, okay, let's make this a harder process. And guess what? I love my guns so much, I'll do whatever it takes. I don't know why I have a southern accent, but it's just this should be a slam dunk argument as a nation. Hey, kids are being murdered. Kids and people in this country are being murdered at a crazy rate. We should stop this. And we should all as a nation go, yes, we should. Yeah, I think that's going to be the episode for today because I feel like if I keep going, it's just going to be a lot of the same stuff over and over. And I don't like to repeat myself so many times. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you next week.